Hi guys, Eric with Graybeard Gardening here. I'm getting ready to plant all of my Amish pastes over here on the gravel side of the garden. You can see what I've done today. I'll show you some of the work here. So I had to shovel out a good 3/4 of this whole trough so that I could move it about 15 inches. But that way I gave a lot better spacing in between the raspberries, which I did not know were going to go so crazy. So, you know, again, just got to acknowledge when you're wrong and fix it. So we did that, and I made sure this is pretty nice and level. I put in a stone step underneath there to go ahead and keep it as level as possible, and that worked pretty well. You can see over here, brand new trough that we just put in today, and that one will also hold the Amish paste. We've got our Amish paste sitting there right now ready to be distributed, and that trough will be filled also. And coming over here past our potatoes and past our raspberries, we have our other trough, which I also moved today. So I shoveled out 3/4 of the dirt of the soil in there and then replaced it. But we're getting ready to go ahead and plant these right now. But you can see I moved that one a good 15, actually about 2 feet away from there, because you could see how far that canopy is coming out over there. So we'll find some sort of, probably a pepper or something to fit right down in the spaces that we created there. The peppers will enjoy a little bit of shade along with the full sunlight that comes over during the day. So we should be in pretty good shape. But right now we're going to be planting about anywhere from 16 to 20 Amish pastes from Burpee and from Baker Creek. But I'm excited to get this going. I don't even know which ones these are here. I'll have to look. All right, guys. Sorry about this format today, but I'm trying to hustle to get this done before the sun goes down today. It's going to rain tomorrow. I want to get these in and ready to go. You can see all of these are very tall. The Amish paste, this is from Baker Creek and from Burpee, but Amish paste is always a very leggy plant, especially to start. It really moves up quickly and has long internodal spacing. But as it gets older and better rooted, it thickens up and just puts off some big fruit. So I'm gonna back up here and just show you. I laid out my grid just because oftentimes I'll find that I want to tweak it a little bit once I've put out my original amount of plants. But I've got 4 kind of interspaced there front to back so that everything's going to get sun. On these I'm going to do a single leader, so don't think that these are planted too close. They should be good with a single leader. Same here. All of these are going to get most of this lower foliage trimmed off and then planted very, very deep. I'm going to plant them about 12 inches deep, maybe more, just to get them a little bit closer to the tops of the troughs here. But you can see I laid out 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I did 4 here. I gave the Baker Creek and the Burpee a share of this trough here. I don't usually mix them, but I had to kind of do that to make this work. But this is all going to be Amish paste on this side of the garden with the best sun. This is my paste tomato of choice, so that's why I'm doing this. And then back here, again, same layout, 4-foot trough, 4x2 trough, and 4 plants in there. Last year I did 3 and they did just fine, so I think 4 will be perfect for this. And then you can see here I have a cattle panel that I've trained into a tunnel essentially, so these will wrap all around that, and late season they will get some late afternoon shade from all of that foliage up there. Okay, it's the next day and we waited overnight to come out and take this video. I also watered this morning since last night we planted them and you know, it's going to be overnight, and it was pretty moist soil, so I just left them overnight to go ahead and water them in today. So I gave them a deep watering today to get all the way down to the roots. We did plant those really deep so that the stems weren't sticking out as high off of the soil. But you can see here we've got everything pruned up, everything supported, a tie on everything, a stake on everything. And again, I am big on this. You do not want to slack on support. You know, we've got rain coming in here in about 3-4 hours, and ultimately without support, these would have been thrashed in the rain. Just even a simple rain would have just knocked most of these over, maybe even broken some of the main stems. But now they're going to be safe. They may still take a little bit of a thrashing, but they'll still stand up. But you can see here, every one of them is supported about midway up the stem. So there's not a whole lot of stem that is exposed to wind, or at least uncontrolled wind. We'll probably go up one notch and retie these before the rain, just to make sure, because you see, I mean, how long these are. Look at where that tie is right here, and that's pretty low on the plant. We still got a decent amount of plant there, so we're going to tie one right there. But you can see here, garden's looking good. We just got those planted over there. All of these on this side of the garden are Amish Paste. They're either Baker Creek or they're Burpee. These are all Burpee in this trough. But you can see we just supported our peas a little bit here. We've got a bunch of potatoes going still for the potato experiment. I'll say this, that I pulled the potatoes out of this trough yesterday in order to be able to move it. And it was a little sorry as far as a harvest, but again, these potatoes weren't even close to ready. It was a monster plant, so it probably would have produced pretty well. But at this point, we're just gonna cut our losses. We've got plenty of potatoes coming here, and we'll be fine. Let's go ahead and keep moving. You can see our San Marzano bed really looking good. You can tell that a lot of the plants have started rooting because the tops of the plants are starting to turn a darker green. So that means it is accessing the nitrogen down there in the soil. You've got 2 mammoth peas that are starting to really climb up those posts. I planted 3, but only 2 of them took. And then here, I'm really excited. This is my first time growing super sweet 100s. That's not really coming through. But you can see here we've got them supported. We've got 2 of them in a wine barrel. That's about the most that is recommended. We've got some marigolds in there for beauty and for a little pest deterrent and protection. You can see here we've got some of our Asiatic lilies, I think that's what it's called, coming up over here. One other one, little tiny guy right there. And then we've got our gladiolus and another set of lilies over here. So hopefully that ends up being really pretty and brings in some pollinators. And let's keep moving here. Sorry about the film today, guys. I'm just trying to do this quickly before a meeting and before we get the rains in this afternoon, just to show you what I did. But I'm gonna get a close up here of one of these. You can see just the base of this plant. The leaves are a little lighter color, but look at the top, a lot darker green. Same here, most of these leaves have turned a dark green, so that one is accessing all of the nitrogen. Same here, super dark green, but everything's looking really healthy right now. I am dealing with what I think is a mole in that bricks raised bed. Here's some more Oregon Sugar Pod 2 peas, one of my favorites. Here's the bed that had the garlic yesterday. You can see I completely retooled that, got all the amendments into it, and we're ready to go. we've got our strawberry patch here. After this produces this year, I'm going to rip out these strawberries. I might give them to the neighbor right here behind the fence. They've got a nice plot of land that would probably be pretty good for a big patch of strawberries, but I'm gonna rip these out and I'm gonna take this trough over to the other side of the garden and put it in a better spot here. This is gonna be my strawberry row where I'm just gonna put individual strawberries in the future. And here you've got our shallots, which I'm hoping are getting ready to finish because I need the space, but they're just so healthy. I have a hard time even thinking about ripping these out, but they're supposed to kind of start folding over and finishing up there, but I don't know. We'll have to look it up and see if I'm maybe making a mistake. But these are looking super healthy, and you can see all the flowers forming there. And you can see over there, I have my garlic drying because it's going to rain today, so I had to put it under my cover to protect it while it rains. So anyways, this is the life of a gardener, and ultimately I'm just really excited to share all of this with you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Let's give you one last look as we turn around here. Have a great day, guys.